Hi everyone, Russell here from Cape Audio College, and welcome to another episode of our music production tips. Today I have a very quick video on how to set yourself up for success when getting ready to mix your song. Mixing is something that I particularly love and focus on. So what I've noticed in the very short time that I've been mixing for is a lot of the battle is won in the preparation stage, and that's what we're going to dive into today. Our track for today is a track titled Mark a Plan. The artist is Rabi, very good friend of mine. He's been kind enough to let me use this unreleased track in its most raw form. So this is the track exactly after recording, so it's in its most raw form. Please bear with me if things don't sound the way they should. I have since mixed and mastered this song, and it's in a better state, I promise you that. But for now, we're going to dive into this raw session, and hopefully what you get from this episode today is how to set yourself up in terms of structure, in terms of naming conventions, color coding, and basic routing that can get you going for your sessions. We're going to dive in a sec. All right, so it starts at the very top, the name of the session. I usually follow this convention, and this is basically how I know that this is my session. I've got the name of the artist, the name of the song, whatever stage I'm at, whether it's recording, mixing, or master prep. Those are the three names of my sessions. I have a recording session, mixing session, and a master prep session, and that's based on where I'm at. And the master prep session is not dependent on whether I'm mastering it or not. I do it just so that I can get out of the mind frame of mixing to the mind frame of mastering, which are two different processes in and of themselves. So pretty much that's where it all starts. And then usually at the top here, I would have the BPM. It's been a while since I've opened this session. I'm not sure if the BPM for this was 120 or if the key was C major, but that's where I would enter these things here at the top. Just helps me know what the tempo is in case I want to add some delays later on in the session, or I want to do some tempo based edits. And then the key as well just helps me if I need to correct some vocals, if I need to pitch correct some vocals, if I need to throw on some auto tune, just helps me know what key I'm working in. And all these things are preparation, which is really, really important, helps you to be faster. And then we have the tracks here that I would have imported into the session. To import tracks into the session, Control-Shift-I on Windows, then you move on to the folder that it is, or the location where it is stored. You click the correct folder, and then it'll give you a dialog box like this if you use Windows like me. If you use Mac, it'll be Command-Shift-I, and a dialog box will pop up as well. But this is what I was telling you about. I've got a master prep session, mixing session, and the recording sessions saved over here. So that's pretty much it. Control-Shift-I, and then I do the imports. Now, once I have it in the session, this is what it will look like, unedited, untouched, just sent to my routing template, which I've done before this to save time. But basically, I've got a mix bus, vocal sub, instrumental sub, and with that, this is where the vocals all culminate. This is where all the instrumentals will group together, and that's all sent to the mix bus for that final glue. And then in the session as well, I'll have a drum bus for all my drums. I'll have a hook bus for all the hook vocals, and I'll probably have a verse bus for all the verses. This depends. If I recorded the song, I'll have one verse bus just for glue. But if it's somebody else who recorded it, and there may be some inconsistencies in the recording, in the frequencies, or in the performance, I'll have different verse buses just for that, for processing, just to give myself a little bit more control. Then usually when I record, I've got the 2-track beat at the top over here, because that's what the artist was hearing when they were writing and preparing for the song. But above and beyond that, I use this as a reference, because when I start my mix, I start with the beat. So I'll use the producer's last bounce as a reference, just to give me an idea into what he was thinking as he was going, what he was thinking when he was producing the beat, what he wanted to highlight, what he wanted to push back. So yeah, pretty much keep it at the top here, tucked away. And then the track today has a lot of drums. As you can see, there's drums, there's an 808, and there's a sample. typical hip hop. And then we've got a producer tag over here, which has become very, very important these days. All the dope producers have a dope tag. Wheezy, Turbo, Southside. I'm sure if you're a hip hop fan, these are tags that you're very familiar with. So yeah, that's really, really important in the session as well these days. So yeah, got my drums, got my 808 together with the drums going to the drum bus. I probably figured that it would be a good idea for whatever reason at the time that the 808 needed to be part of the drums in terms of the overall processing. So that's why I have it going to the drum bus as well. Then the next stage for me is to color code. So I color code first, and then I do what I refer to as my linear process, where I can see where everything is in the track in a linear fashion. I'll know that the chorus, where the chorus starts, where it ends, where the verse starts, where it ends, just to help me get a picture of the arrangement. So I'll quickly go through my color coding. All my drums, if it's a drum, it's red. No matter when I open the session, if it's a drum, it will always be red. If it's a bass, it will always be purple. Any session of mine that you'll open, you'll see this. If it's a sample, it's like this weird greenish color. All my producer tags are brown. My chorus vocals are gold because they are the gold of the session. Cheesy. My verses are a lesser shade of gold. Not that they're not important, but usually the energy, the feel of the song, the impacts are all found in like the chorus. That's where we get the most energy. That's why I color coded gold. And then pretty much everything else falls under that. Guitars are like a lighter shade of green for me. If I had any synths in this session, they'll be here in the pinkish, the lighter, warmer, brighter colors, I should say. And pretty much that's it. That's my color coding. So any session that I open up, I will know that this is my session because my drums are red, my basses are purple, and my samples are green and all that. So that helps me understand things better. And then with the linear structure, we're going to get to hear a little bit of the track. I usually start by just saying start. So that's where the song starts. And then I'll play the song as we go. I'll do this very quickly, and then we'll see where everything is in terms of arrangement.
RP TD Mo. Dub 9. 7 8. Let's go. I've lost focus, I've been going through the motions. My heart's a little cold.
Cool, so that's the intro and the verse. This is the first chorus.
Sun don't shine in the slums. So a black man got a maco plan. Generation.
Alright, and then we jump over to the second verse. Made a selection there.
Man got a maco plan. I need me a rod. I'm a plate saying Rob.
Cool, we've got verse 2 over there. And then we've got the chorus.
Find me, sun don't shine in the slums. So a black man got a
the chorus doubles up on itself.
ducky maca plan. Sun don't shine in the slums. So a black man.
And then we've got the outro here.
But ducky maca plan. Sun don't shine in the slums. Yeah.
And then for the end of the song, I usually just leave a little bit of space just in case I add some delays, or I add a little bit of a reverb tail just to let it fade out in a musical way. Then I call that end. Now basically this allows me to see what the arrangement of the song is, and if I ever need to move something around, it's easier for me to do it because I have a clear picture of where it is rather than going in blind and not being able to see. So again, this is something that speeds up my workflow, helps me work faster, and helps me understand and see where everything is in the song. Then after that, I go on to gain staging. Probably this will be the last time I hear the song in full from here in the process. After that, I'm just focusing on particular sections. And just to save time, I won't probably listen to the whole song again, maybe until the end of the mix, just to make sure that everything is flowing and it's cohesive. Then yeah, my gain staging, I usually go with a trim tool. generic trim tool in Pro Tools, and I aim for around -18, around this region here, because I use a lot of analog emulations. If you saw in the last video, you'll know that I use the SSL 4000E EQ plugin from Plugin Alliance as my EQ plugin of choice. So back in the day, consoles, -18 was like the sweet spot, the nominal level. So because I use a lot of those emulations, I aim for that. I'm not particularly hectic about that, but as long as it's within that region, not only does it hit the plugin with enough headroom and it's not clipping the plugin, but it gives me enough headroom as well to push the song should I need to at any given stage. Another thing that I do is I usually have a group over here. To create a group, you just go new group, select the tracks that you want in the group. Let's say I want all these tracks. I'm just doing it at random in that group, and then I usually call it all without buses. So this is basically all of the tracks except the buses. Send it all to one group, and what that allows me is if I drop the volume, I drop the volume for all of them. So you'll see with 7.3, 7.3, 7.3, 7.3 for everything in the session, for all the tracks that I would have selected for that group. So I drop it to about 5 dB, gives me 5 dBs of fader push room if I need to push it up, or I might need to push it even further down. Just gives me room to move as well. So yeah, pretty much that's it. And then once I have the level set, basically I'll then start seeing what I need to take out, what I need to fix, and from then on we start the fun part, which is the actual mixing. But this process is crucial to that, to make sure that your mixing sessions are faster. You can do this in 2 different sessions, which is what I do. I do the prep stuff in one session, take a break, and then come back and do the mixing stuff when I'm focusing on just doing the mixing and not thinking about the real estate of the session and all that other nice stuff. So pretty much that's it on basically how I set myself up for success, and I hope that this helps you go out and set yourself up for success in your sessions. So the important thing to note is organization, structure, and just create a system that you are familiar with and a system that works for you. But yeah, that'll be it for today. I hope this video has been useful. If you have any suggestions or comments, get to us in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. But we will be back with another music production video next week. And yeah, we'll be doing more of these for sure. And if you want us to cover a certain subject, let us know in the comment section below. If we get enough requests, we'll definitely jump on that and show you how to do it as best as we can. Hope you have yourself a wonderful day ahead. Until next time. Bye for now.